Which scene in a film disturbed you the most? The scene in the original Pet Sematary where the old guy gets his Achilles tendon cut from the little kid under the bed. I always checked under the bed after that edit. These comments are a treat. Still pretty new to Reddit, only recently been active. I absolutely love all the shared trauma we had with this one scene. Made me smile all day, seeing all the comments and upvotes. Thanks for making my day in spite of the Rona lockdown and the smoky air making us have to stay indoors for the past few days. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, stay safe and always check under the bed. Yes. 12-year-old me saw that movie and that scene was just too much. 19-year-old me saw that and it was too much. That and Zelda. And the guy in the emergency room with his head split open. Zodiac. When Hess stabbing the couple at Lake Berryessa. The lack of any music while hearing their screams is disturbing. The movie did an accurate job with portraying everything based from the witness survivor accounts. Therese audio of the boyfriend that survived that stabbing and the 911 operator who spoke to the killer, as well as a reading of the mother who was picked up by him, and they all say he was calm and well-spoken. That alone creeps the duck out of me. American History X, put your mouth on the curb. I've never actually managed to watch this scene. I'll watch near enough anything, but I can't stomach this scene. I watched The Matrix when I was a kid, and the scene where the agents interrogate Neo still holds a special, horrible place in my mind. Specifically, when he loses his mouth, and the little robotic probe thing climbs into his belly button. Holy duck. I remember seeing that on TV once and they edited it so when the thing came out of his stomach he goes jeepers creepers, and it always cracks me up to think of, edit, for accuracy. Horrible quality, but I'll save you guys a quick search. The one. There's a scene from the movie The Road where the father and his son discover a room full of chained, naked people waiting to be eaten by the cannibals living in the house, and then they run away and they get chased by the cannibals. That scene really traumatized me when I was young. I remember crying so hard when I watched that movie. That was terrifying in the book. I don't think I want to see the film. If they had at least killed the victims before they ate them, instead of chopping off a limb at a time and keeping them alive so the meat would last longer. Frown. I read World War Z and the next book I read was The Road. I remembered thinking WWZ would make a great movie, but The Road would never be made into a movie because it was way too dark. Few years later The Road was a fantastic movie that held true to the book. And WWZ was a piece of shit that had nothing to do with the excellent book. In 7, the guy in the sex club recounting what the murderer made him do with a strap-on saw blade. His screaming about what he made him do. The scene in The Mummy where the scarabs crawled under the one guy's skin. I saw it when I was about 8 and it traumatized me. I still have nightmares once in a while about it 20 years later. Jesus Christ, this scene. I was in the field once collecting insect specimens for a project in uni. I lifted a rock and a bajillion Egyptian grain beetles came spewing out. Just like the scene from The Mummy. Nearly ducking shat myself. I was out of there before they could get under my skin. The brave little toaster when the vacuum sucks up his own cord. I will never vacuum over a cord. Same movie for me, but I was a kid, and the scene was the air conditioner's suicide. The air conditioner scene always had me scared as a kid. There's an 80s 90s horror movie called When a Stranger Calls Back. All the spoilers, in the movie, the killer is a ventriloquist who can throw his voice. In the end scene, the protagonist is in a room with the killer, and can hear him but she can't see him. He has painted himself to look like the wall. This scene impacted me for many years. As a single woman living alone, I would walk around my house, trailing my hand along the wall to make sure no one had painted themselves to match my wall. The baby scene in Trainspotting. My mom has always been great at picking out important details or slight foreshadowing in films, and I vividly remember watching this with her for the first time, and shortly before that scene with the characters all in the apartment, but well before you become aware of the baby's death, she looked at me and said, "Oh duck, the baby stopped crying." Still sticks with me. Edit, as Ushtraf is off a path and some mild independent research pointed out my mom and I are wrong by both the book and film. Unless there is a director's cut or something I'm unaware of, the general agreement in the other comments makes me think this might be a result of the Mandela effect. Yes. The entire movie I'm like, man, that baby is just always crying. And then right before the key scene I was like, the baby isn't crying. Yeah, that was disturbing. The eye sewing shenanigans in Coraline. I was about 10 or younger I think when I saw it, so I think that's why it stuck with me, but it's the scene from Pan's Labyrinth where the dad just bashes some soldier's face in with a wine bottle. Edit. When I say dad I mean the main girl's father, the commander psychopathic soldier. Looking back, it wasn't a soldier's face, but the son of father who were out rabbit hunting. Uck. I watched this movie again recently and I still hate that scene. This was so horrifying to me at the time because I was so young when I watched it, but the last scene in Cannibal Holocaust where the cannibals assaulted and attacked one of the film crew has just stayed with me since. Wasn't there some sort of investigation because the movie seemed too realistic? Yes, and the director had to bring in the actors to prove they weren't murdered, which included demonstration of how they recreate the impaled woman scene. It was, as I recall, having excellent breathing control while sitting on a bike seat. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the director made the actors sign agreements that they would basically go into hiding for a year after the movie was released. That way their deaths in the movie would seem more real because no one would be able to find them. In Saving Private Ryan, the scene where the Jewish soldier gets stabbed to death while the cowardly soldier can't bring himself to save him. It's the medic death scene for me. Teach us how to save you. Edit. I got that wrong. Should be tell us how to fix you. I could use some more morphine. The looks on all their faces, they knew what that meant. Then the sniper, give him another one. Was it the morphine that killed him or just make him comfortable? Edit. See? Even the answers are conflicting. He got shot in the liver and as a medic many miles from an aid station, he knew he was toast. He asked for the morphine to help with the pain, knock him out and to hurry things along. Uck, man. The part where he starts saying mama ducking killed me. I was in 8th grade when it came out, and I remember being so fucked up from that part and started tearing up as soon as he started to call out for his mom, being thousands of miles away from her and in the middle of a war, and Hess calling out for his mom. Shit. This scene from a First World War diary always stayed with me. The sight of a German boy crushed under a shattered tank, moaning mutter mutter mutter, out of ghastly grey lips. A British soldier, wounded in the leg, and sitting nearby, hears the words, and dragging himself to the dying boy, takes his cold hand and says, "All right, son, it's all right, mother's here with you." That's touching and awful at the same time. I'm sorry, but Black Swan when she has skin at the edge of nail and she pulls it. Duck. No. Final scene of The Mist with Thomas Jane. All for nothing. Such a great movie moment. I think I read somewhere that when Stephen King read the script's ending for approval that he said if he wrote the book today it would have the film's ending. Which makes sense. King is an amazing writer but has difficulty with making a fulfilling ending. And as purely frustrating as that end is, it's dramatically very satisfying. I believe it was Human Centipede 2. Pregnant woman pretends to be dead, is discarded to the side of the room, waiting for her chance to escape. Goes into labor, obviously can't continue playing dead, screams and runs, is discovered by Centipede Dude. Manages to get herself into a car as baby pops out, lady smashes baby's head under the pedal as she slams the gas pedal down attempting to escape. I don't watch horror movies anymore. Holy duck, that description is gruesome. If I'm remembering it correctly, the scene is 100% graphic too. There's no cut away from the gas pedal before she puts her foot down, it shows everything. It's been several years since I watched that movie, but I remember it randomly every now and again. It's honestly one of those scenes I wish I could just forget seeing. Duck, I wish I could forget reading it. I'm done with this thread now. Yeah, I actually has to watch the train spotting scene cause I was curious, but this, I will not watch this. Why would anyone want to watch that?